Spiritual Captivity by Lou White. Chapter 8. Dispensationalism, also known as replacement theology. Interpreting the scriptures this way originated with John Darby in the 19th century, around 1830. It began the idea that the adherents of Christianity replaced the tribes of Israel, and all the promises made to them were transferred to Gentiles, with no regard for obeying the eternal covenant. Meet John and Cyrus. Replacement theology spread after the publication of the Cyrus Scofield Reference Bible, published in 1909. YAHUAH, known as Jeremiah. Chapter 31 stands in direct conflict with any idea that YAHUAH will forget his people or his covenant. Matthew chapter 24, verse 35 reads, "The heaven and the earth shall pass away, but my word shall by no means pass away." There is no way YAHUAH will forsake his chosen people and replace them with lawless Gentiles that disobey his covenant and pretend they only have to believe. Read the words he gave us about this at Jeremiah chapter 31, and it will be apparent. Revelation chapter 22, verses 14 to 15 confirms there is a body of commandments to be guarded, which are also brought up at Malachi, known as Malachi, chapter 4, verses 1 to 6. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 13 to 14 specifically tells us they are to be obeyed by all mankind. Who has deceived us? The answer is the teachers of tradition. Christianity is described perfectly in the book of Ezekiel 22 verses 25 to 27. It reads as follows: "There is a conspiracy of her prophets in her midst, like a roaring lion tearing the prey. They have devoured life. They have taken wealth and precious things. They have made many widows in her midst. Her priests have done violence to my teaching, and they profane my Kodesh things. They have not distinguished between the Kodesh and profane, nor have they made known the difference between the unclean and the clean. And they have hidden their eyes from my Shabbatheth, and I am profaned in their midst. Her leaders in her midst are like wolves tearing the prey, to shed blood, to destroy lives, and to get greedy gain." The Decalogue Stone at Los Lunas, New Mexico. The 10 Commandments in original Hebrew are engraved on an ancient gate stone at Hidden Mountain. This unprotected stone is older than any other artifact connected to the descendants of the tribes of Yisrael, and it's located near Los Lunas, New Mexico, USA. It was a colony founded during the days of Shalama, known as Solomon, around 900 BCE, and they wrote the 10 Commandments on their gate. It was etched hundreds of years before the birth of Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Amos, Baruch, Daniel, and many others. Deuteronomy/Dabram chapter 6, verses 4 to 9 reads, "Hear, O Yisrael, YAHUAH, our Elohim, YAHUAH is one, and you shall love YAHUAH your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates." Also see Shamut, known as Exodus, chapter 20, verses 2 to 17. Love commands. The 10 Commands, meaning instructions, are the truth we all need to see as instructions teaching us how to love. Doing them, not just hearing them, results in Yahushua help to keep us on the path. He gives His Spirit only to those who obey Him. See Acts 5, verse 32. To know who love is becomes the great reward for those seeking Him. Those who speak to one another and honor the name of YAHUAH have been described as YAHUAH's treasured possession, and their names are in a scroll of remembrance. We discern the difference between the upright and the lawless. See Malachi, that is, Malachi chapter 3. Wait until Revelation 22 verses 14 to 15 is read and understood by the billions of people pastors have deceived. The pastors tell them the 10 Commandments were annulled so they could tell us about dispensationalism, also known as historical progression. Instead of teaching us the eternal covenant of love, they control what is taught. And who teaches